Hello, today we are going to discuss about the IoT communication APIs. In our previous lecture, we have already discussed about the communication models in the IoT. So first of all, let me tell you what is meant by API. Okay, API is nothing but the application programming interface. So what is meant by API? It is a set of programming instruction and standards for accessing a web-based software application or web tool. Okay. Basically, a company releases its API to the public so that the other software developers can design the products for its clients. Okay, for example, if the amazon.com releases its API, then the website developer can easily access the products of the Amazon and provide the direct link for buying or viewing the information of that particular product. Another example we can take in the case of facebook.com. Facebook.com shares its APIs so that we can access the Facebook pages. So there are basically two types of the communication APIs in the IoT. First one is REST based communication API. So REST means representational state transfer API. It is a set of architectural principles by which you can design a web services and a web APIs that focus on system resources and how resource states are addressed and transferred. Okay. So REST APIs follow the request response communication model. As we have already discussed in our previous lecture, various communication model, request response communication model, then public subscriber model. Okay, so in a REST based communication model, as it follows the request response communication model, there is a HTTP client which gives the request to the server and it is managed by the HTTP packet here, and various methods used are get, put, post, delete. Okay, and for about a REST payload, it uses the JSON and XML. At the HTTP server side, it provides the authentication and RESTful web services. So various resources are used and taken from the URI, okay, which are represented here. REST architectural constraints applied to the components, connectors and data elements within a distributed hypermedia system. Okay, so here are the various communication API constraint for the REST, like client server, stateless, cacheable, layered system, information, uniform interface and code on demand. Okay, so what is mean by the client server API constraint? So in a client server API constraint, the principle behind the client server constraint is the separation of the concern. Okay, that means the separation allows the client and server to develop independently and update independently. Okay, what happens, for example, the client should not concern with the storage of data which is concerned of the server. Okay, similarly server should not concern about the user interface. That means they both do not concern about each other. What happen in stateless? Each request from client to server must contain all the information necessary to understand the request. Okay, that means the session state is kept entirely on the client. Next is cacheable. What is meant by cacheable? Cache constraint require that the data within the response to request be implicitly or explicitly. Okay, Also, caching can partially or completely eliminate some interaction and improve efficiency and scalability. So next one is, that is layered system. So what is layered system? In the case of layered system constraint the behavior of component such that each component cannot see beyond the immediate layer with which they are interacting. Okay, let's take one example. A client cannot tell whether it is connected directly to the end server or do an intermediary along the way. Okay, that means without the client having to do anything different. So next is uniform interface. So in uniform interface constraint, it requires that the method of communication between the client and server must be uniform. As the name indicates that the uniform interface, the method should be uniform. Okay, when a client holds a representation of resource, it has all the information required to update or delete the resource. Okay, that means it can update the information whether it is deleted or not. Each message includes enough information to describe how to process the message. That means the message can be processed uniformly. Okay, next is code on demand. Servers can provide, what is the code on demand? In this, the servers can provide executable code or scripts for the client to execute in their context. Okay, executable code which is provided to the client in their context. So next is WebSocket based communication API. In this, unlike the REST based API, WebSocket based API allow bidirectional full duplex communication between the client and server. Okay, that means the WebSocket based allow the full directional allow the bidirectional communication, bidirectional full duplex communication. Also the WebSocket APIs follow the exclusive pair communication model. The WebSocket APIs, unlike the request response API, such as the REST, WebSocket APIs allow full duplex communication. Okay, this communication, that means the communication in WebSocket API begins with a setup request by a client to the server. Okay, this communication is begin with setup request by the client to the server. Then server gives the response to the client about the setup request, okay, about the setup request. This request, that is, which is also called as the WebSocket handshake, okay, or initial handshake, which is done over HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, and the data frame will be transferred one by one by the client. Okay, and there is that is the bidirectional communication is happen in case of what? Client server in WebSocket based API, that is over persistent WebSocket connection. Okay, so in this way, as soon as the data frames will be transferred by the client then finally gives the connection termination request to the server. That means as soon as the work will be finished, the connection termination request will be sent by the client to the server, and according to that request the server responses about the closing of communication. Thank you.